Hey guys, it's Myra here from the Veg Society, and this is episode 2 of our What Do Us Vegans Eat series, I guess. Today we're going to be making some sweet potatoes, sorry. And today we're going to be making some veggie burgers with sweet potatoes, black beans, and some brown rice, and a lot of other really good stuff. Before we do anything else though, just make sure you preheat your oven for the sweet potatoes. So we're gonna set it to about 200 just to get the sweet potatoes roasting. So the next step is to cook the black beans. So you can use canned beans, you can use any beans really that you like. I prefer black beans, and we've soaked them overnight, so we bought them in bulk at Flannery's. Yeah, so the recipe asks for, actually specifies a can. So I'm gonna get 2 cups in the pot. That's about a can's worth. And then if you are doing it this way, I usually just fill it up with water until it's covered and a little bit more. Yeah. And then I just keep adding water until I feel that they're all mushy and ready. And these shouldn't take too long because they have been soaked overnight for a while. But give it at least like 30 minutes and just check. I'm gonna put it on medium to high heat just to get it boiling, and then we'll just leave that. The next component is the sweet potato. So you can use 1 big one or 2 medium-sized ones. Usually I would put them in the oven whole, but because this is such a big one, I'm gonna kind of cut it into quarters. And I'm just gonna put them on the pan with a bit of baking paper. All right, and we're good to go in the oven. And that should also be about 30 to 40 minutes. The next step is the rice. So you can really use any grain for this, and your veggie burgers are really just kind of a mix of what you have. I really like them with brown rice, but you can use quinoa, you can use white rice, barley as well. So the recipe asks for 1 cooked cup, so I'm going to put about 2/3 roll. And then with brown rice, you put double the amount of water, and I always put a little bit more than that. So we're gonna cook them on a rice cooker today. Buying a rice cooker was just such a good idea for us. It just makes it so much easier because you can just put the rice on, go do something else, and then it'll be ready. You don't have to check it all the time. So it's a really good investment. We actually got ours at Cash Converters, so it's not like you have to spend a lot of money. I think it cost us $20 worth of, sorry, $12. So I think even for $20 you can get a really good one. It's really easy, really cheap, and it's just a really good thing to have at home. Cool, and now we wait. That should also take about 30 to 40 minutes. So once you put these 3 things together, you have at least half an hour to just get the other ingredients ready, or you can do a bit of study or just hang out, I guess. So in order to get your burgers not too mushy and to have more of, like, I guess, our classic burger texture, you need a dry ingredient, and we're gonna use oats today. So oats are good. These are cheap, they're good to have. So we need 1 cup, and we blend it to make oat flour just to have a finer texture.
You can just use normal flour, right?
Yeah, you can use normal flour. You can use, what else can you use to make it dry?
Breadcrumbs?
Breadcrumbs, yeah. So you need a dry ingredient. We're using oats today, so just put it in a blender. There we go, you can get a nice close-up look at that.
Nice.
Alright, so we'll just leave that on the side. So next we're gonna chop the onion. I'm gonna try doing it like Cam did it last week. Let's see if I can do it. I've only got a little bit of garlic, so we're gonna use some garlic powder as well, but might as well use it all. And then we've got some parsley and some coriander.
Side note, the people want to know, when are you releasing your line of clothing?
Hopefully we'll have t-shirts to sell next semester. So much pressure.
Stay tuned.
Right, that stuff's ready now. So now we're gonna get all the spices mixed together. We're gonna start off with some paprika. We need 1 teaspoon. Since we don't have that much garlic, I'm gonna put a bit of this in. About half a teaspoon. Yeah, this is a really easy and cheap way of adding flavor to something. We need 1 teaspoon of cumin. And there's your spice mix. I'm gonna check the sweet potatoes now. I've been cooking for a while, so I'm just gonna take them out. Oh, that is good. You can tell it's really soft inside, and that's what we want.
Let's just eat sweet potato. Screw the burger.
That's me most days.
Yeah.
Right, so you can do this a variety of ways, I guess. I'm just gonna try to peel the skin off. It seems to come out pretty easily. So, yeah. Okay, so you can tell the black beans are pretty much ready. They've absorbed a lot of the water, and I mean, you just have to taste one and see. Yeah, they're nice and mushy.
Beanie.
We're good. Don't expect them to look like the canned ones. Actually, these stayed intact pretty well, but they tend to kind of break apart and have quite a variety of colors. So don't be disappointed if they look kind of funky. That's just how they are. Accept the imperfections. Alright, we're just gonna get rid of the excess water, so we're just gonna strain it. Alright, so now that's good to go in our mixing bowl. So the rice is on warm, which means that it's done cooking. So we're just gonna add the rice in. Okay, the sweet potatoes are gonna go in now with the beans and the rice. We're gonna use the masher here. And we're gonna put the spices in. Yep, I'm ready. Good. The onions. Are you doing a close-up on these guns? Alright, we're gonna add the oat flour. I forgot what it was. Slowly. Okay, so now we're just gonna make them into burger shape. It's about half a cup in here. Just put it into a bit of a ball. You can choose how big you want them. Yeah, how thick as well. Patty. And then just coat them in some oat flour. So you can do it in the oven like we are, because you can cook a bit more at a time. But if you're only making a few, you can just put it in the pan. So we've got our burgers. We're just gonna put them in the oven for about 4 minutes on each side. So the oven's still at about 175. To go along with our burgers, we've got some tomato, some avo, and some lettuce. So I'm just gonna cut this up into slices. This tomato looks so good. So we've cut up the tomato and everything, and now we just have our choice of toppings. We've got some vegan mayo. The branding doesn't look very good on this, but it is really good. It tastes a lot like what I remember mayonnaise tastes like. Some mustard, some tomato. There's so many things you can put on this. So we're gonna take them out, flip them around. The cool thing about vegan food is that you don't really have to worry about undercooking things and, you know, getting sick after. So just cook it for as long as you like. If you want them crunchy, cook them longer. If you like them really mushy and soft, then they're pretty much ready. Here. And they're ready! Yay!
Yes, we're so hungry!
I'm so hungry, yeah. So, should we assemble our burger then?